In this video, we are going to be making a Star Wars cinematic photo edit. So I've just started getting into photo editing, and you may already know that I'm a Star Wars fan. You may know me for such bangers as Star Wars but the Lightsabers are Massive Part 1, Star Wars but the Lightsabers are Massive Part 2, maybe possibly even Star Wars but the Lightsabers are Massive Part 3, and maybe, if you're lucky enough, is Star Wars The Old Republic worth trying in 2021? That's about all I'm known for. So I've actually already made Star Wars edits before. You may have seen the video previously on the channel where I made my own poster for the Book of Boba Fett. If you haven't, click in this corner right here, I hope, and that'll take you straight to the video, or, you know, you can just go down in the description. But I've also done other Star Wars edits on mine and Azrael's shared Instagram account, Motion Flame. Motion Flame is the Instagram account we are using to make photo edits. We've got a whole massive variety of stuff on there right now, and on each post it will tell you who made which post. So it will say by Zeuzify or by Azeron, and it's purely up there right now just for a bit of fun. So if you like photo edits and you'd like to see some more, go ahead and go to instagram.com/motionflame and hit us up with a follow, or you can just go in the description as always. And if you would like to see more behind the scenes, tutorials or time lapses of photo edits, feel free to let me know in the comments, and of course leave a like on this video, because one, that will help me in the algorithm, and two, it'll personally let me know that you do enjoy this type of content. Right, without further ado, let's talk about what we are going to be making today. So for this piece, I wanted to make a widescreen landscape artwork. Now, I've never done something like this before. Usually the dimensions I'm working with are portrait, but I thought I'd switch it up a bit and try out something new. And to begin with, I just went online and I found this cool image of the interior of a Star Destroyer. And I thought it could be kind of cool if we had some stormtroopers, maybe in the background, fighting some people. First, I just dragged this in, sized it up, but looking at the image by itself, it is a bit too bland, so I went ahead and added just a simple curves adjustment just to add a bit more contrast to the image, to make it look a bit more cinematic. So now that we got the background, we need some actual foreground elements, and for this, like I said, I was going to use images of stormtroopers, so I found these 4 images. Now, the only issue is, they are PNGs, but I'm an idiot. I messed it up, so now I've got to cut these all out by hand with the pen tool. But luckily, with the power of video editing, we can cut down this hour-long process. Yes, this took me an hour to do. We can cut down this hour-long process and make it a minute. Now, although this process is quite long, it does allow you to get a very good mask on your image, especially if you take your time. There's just 2 issues with that. 1, I'm impatient as fuck, and 2, I'm new to Photoshop, so I was bad with it anyways. So I spent all this time cutting out these 4 images, and it turns out I'm not even going to use one of them. But we'll get to that in a bit. Now that I had cut out all 4 of my images, it was time to place them in the positions I wanted them in the final composition. And for the most important part, find out where the lighting is coming from and add some shadows. I did this by just using exposure adjustment layers and painting on where I wanted the shadows. And I did the same thing for highlights as well, but used a human saturation adjustment layer instead to give the light more of a blue hue. So I wanted the scene to have a bit more lighting because it is a bit bland at the moment, so the way I did that was by introducing blaster bolts to the mix. Now to make this, I did an effect that I actually previously have not done, and I was really happy with how this turns out, and I'm definitely going to be using this for lightsabers, spells, blaster bolts, anything in the future to do with light. But what I did was I used the curved rectangular tool to make a little shape, and using the pen tool I stretched that shape out to make it look like the blaster bolt was flying through the air at fast speeds instead of just being this block that kind of looks like a lightsaber. Now I added a glow effect to this shape and made the glow red. Then I just duplicated the shape and stretched out the glow a bit more, make it fade out. However, I didn't like that enough. I needed more glow, so what I did was the classic technique of just making a new layer, setting it to add, and painting my own glow on. But now that there's a new light source, I need to add more highlights to the trooper to make sure he blends with the scene well, and also add a shadow on the ground. And there you have it. Now that we've done one trooper, it's time to do the other 4. Now after I did the first 3, I realized that I don't think this last image is going to work very well, so I just got rid of it. Now I thought it would be cool if the stormtroopers were actually fighting people off screen. That way it's also up to your own interpretation who they're fighting. It could be rebels, it could be like pirates, who knows. But something I did think would be really cool is if I added a sniper bolt flying in between the 2 troopers. So I used the exact same technique I used for the first bolt, but instead of making it red, I made it green and I made it a whole lot longer. And as always, it's a new light source, so I need to add new highlights. Now you see a lot in this Photoshop that I do go back on myself a lot. I undo a lot of things and I add new things. That's because I'm new and I'm just experimenting, and I think that is something that you guys need to do as well if you are looking to improve at photo editing. Don't be afraid to just mess about. So now it's time for some little additions. One thing I like doing is adding these light particles around the light sources. And I also experimented with some lens flare positions. So now it was time to add a field blur, which would just draw the viewer's eyes to the stormtroopers and away from the background. And it was time to add a camera raw filter. After I applied my camera raw filter, I was liking how it looked. However, I didn't like how there was now this big empty void on the right side of the screen. So I needed something to fill that void. And my solution to this problem was to take one of the stormtroopers and make him look like he was dead on the ground. But the way I did this was I just duplicated the layer and I erased one of the legs so we just had one, painted a shadow underneath and added a little bit of color correction and shadows to the leg itself. Then I added one extra blaster bolt just going near the body, like someone was shooting just after he'd been shot. And there you have it. This is the final result. Now, in my opinion, this is probably the best Photoshop I've done so far. However, like I said, I am just getting started and there are much better people than me, like Phase Runner, Benny Productions obviously being the big one. And there's so many more people out there who are way more talented than I am. However, I will keep getting better and I do want to do more stuff like this on the channel. And if you would like to see more stuff like this on the channel, please don't forget to leave a like. It does help out a hell of a lot more than you think. And it lets me know that you do indeed want more and I'll keep making these videos. Now, if you have an idea for something you would like to see me edit in the future, for example, another Star Wars scene, or if you have another film franchise that you would like me to make a little piece for, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get around to them for the next video. Other than that, be sure to subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I will be here every single week. Thanks a lot, lads, and I'll see you next time.